Okay, good evening, everybody out there in the world of Facebook land. Welcome to our event this evening. My name is Damon Warren, and I am the founder of Peace. Please educate all children equally. Tonight, we have an outstanding standing panel of brothers of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Before I get into introducing them all, we're going to start off with a small introductory video to get our night started, and we'll come back in a little bit. Thank you.
What's good, brothers of Omega Psi Phi? Mike Rob, 8 Psi 90. That's what's up. When I was a young boy, I started to cry. My father told me stories about the cute sci-fi. So I looked down low and I looked high above, and from that point on, I promised all of my love, and I said, oh, my love, my peace and happiness, I'm going to give to Omega. Oh, my love, my peace and happiness, I'm going to give to the brothers. Oh, you know my brother, Jesse Jackson. He ran for the president because he's the one. And let's not forget my brother Mcnair. He tried to bring back knowledge from way out there. He cried, oh, oh, my love, my peace and happiness, I'm going to give to Omega. My love, my peace and happiness, I'm going to give to Omega. OMEGAPSI Omega Psi Phi. I said OMEGAPSI Omega Psi Phi. We said, oh, my love, my peace and happiness, I'm going to give to Omega. For the bros. Too bad I didn't have any other brothers around me. You know, I could have hit the ad-lib and all that good stuff. That's what's up. Be out. Rue. Smash. 85 BG.
Beta 69, 3024. This is Johnny Meeks, Songmaster, giving greetings to all you brothers. Hope everything's going well with you. I pledged, due to the fantastic brothers of the Tritonic 34. Those boys was bad, as well as the Sagacious Six. Loved them all. And I worked for IBM for 27 years.
Rue, this is Alexander Rodan. I'm an educator in the Chicago public school system. I pledged Beta Chapter, October 29th, 1976. Yes. Why did I pledge Omega? Simply because friendship is essential to the soul. I love Omega.
Hi, my name is Brother Harrison Potts, and I'm a proud member of the Omega Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I was initiated into this organization on April 19, 1980. And I can say it has been one of the greatest decisions I have ever made. I was introduced to Omega by a good friend of mine, a fraternity brother, Brother Kenneth Brown. And at the time, I had no knowledge of Greek life or no aspiration to be a part of Greek life. But I can tell you, after 40 years, it has been the greatest decision I ever made. It's our 4 cardinal principles: manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift, and our fraternity motto. Friendship is essential to the soul. Friendship is essential to the soul. It's how I live my life. I am thankful and blessed to be a part of this wonderful organization, and I would not change it for the world. I'm currently employed at the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia as an operations manager, and I have been at the bank for over 32 years. Thank you for this opportunity to introduce myself. God bless.
How's everybody doing? My name is Joseph Devane, and I was asked by my fraternity brother, Damon Warren, to give you some information on why I pledged Omega Psi Phi fraternity. First of all, a little bit about myself. I'm a father, a football coach, a deacon, and I'm also a entrepreneur and businessman. I own 4 all-state offices in Delaware and Maryland. And initially, I would just say to you, I joined the fraternity as a young lad because I wanted to be part of something great. And knowing that my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi, is the greatest fraternity in America, this was a great fit for myself. But once I got into the fraternity, I realized that Omega Psi Phi was much more than just a great fraternity. It was an organization that focused on brotherhood, scholarship, leadership, community service, all traits that I thought played an important role in the development of me as a young man. So I would say to you, right, my reasoning for joining this great organization was to get myself in a position to be developed as a young man. Thanks.
Good morning. My name is Fred Johnson, and I was asked by Brother Daniel Warren just to give my thoughts on why I pledged Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, the greatest fraternity in the world. First and foremost, just to give you a little background on myself, I'm an alumni of Cheney University, May 1988. I was initiated into the fraternity back in fall of 1985 with 5 other brothers, the greatest brothers that I've ever come across. I'm also now the founder and CEO of Johnson Johnson and Associates. We're a full-service accounting and business consulting firm located in Gaydon, Pennsylvania, Delaware County. As far as the fraternity is concerned, again, for me, it was just about being some part of something bigger than myself, which I don't regret. In fact, I appreciate the opportunity of becoming a member. So for me, again, like I said, it's about being a part of something bigger than myself. So be well, take care.
Good morning. My name is Colonel Jay Jackson. I'm a member of Omega Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I graduated from Cheney University in 1986, and I'd like to just share my thoughts regarding Omega Psi Phi Fraternity and the impact it has had on me. First off, as I reflect back in 1984, when I first observed the brothers and the men of Omega Psi Phi at Cheney University, the first thing I noticed about them was their ability to be as one, and their camaraderie and their the way that they moved as a group. And there was something about them that really attracted me to them. Many of the brothers I did see on the yard, and that was where I observed their leadership and the way that the university followed them and they were leading. Upon making a decision to join Omega at Cheney University and learning more about, most importantly, the cardinal principles and how those cardinal principles applied to joining the organization was really critical. So
Good morning. My name is William Reddish. I'm president of G2 Inc., which is a minority-owned construction firm based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We specialize in interior carpentry on large commercial projects such as hospitals, hotels, college dorms, nursing homes, and things of that nature. I'm also a member of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I joined the fraternity back in 1987 as a sophomore at Temple University. I was also an accounting major and with a minor in real estate while at Temple. I joined the fraternity for a number of reasons, but the main reason was the social service aspect of the organization. Social service being giving back to the community, lifting as we climb, helping young people to develop their dreams and become great, positive adults. The fraternity has allowed me to build confidence, friendship, and connections that have helped me to grow in my professional career as well. Being president of a company takes a lot of responsibility and a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work, but those things go hand in hand with success. So I hope that this program that Mr. Warren has put together benefits you. And if there's anything that I can do or anything that I can say to help you further your lives and help you get on the track of success, please don't hesitate to contact me. Mr. Warren has all my information. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alex Perry. I pledged at Omega Psi Chapter, Do or Die Omega Psi, Lafayette College in Eastern Pennsylvania. I crossed April 22nd, 1990. I was a line of three, the ace on that line, the one. Again, there was three of us total. The reason I pledged Q, my guidance counselor was a Q, my track coach was a Q. And in high school, they told me all about the fraternity and they really caught my interest. And then I learned that other people in my community were Qs and met them. And when I went to Lafayette, that was a no-brainer for me. That's what I was going to do. And like I said, I got with other individuals that played football at Lafayette. I had a football scholarship. And there's other individuals that wanted to pledge Q also. And like I said, when it was all said and done, April 22nd, three of us remained. My school's in the Lehigh Valley. Omega Psi also students from Lehigh also pledge Omega Psi, so Lehigh and Lafayette. I'm currently a New Jersey State Trooper. I've been a New Jersey State Trooper for 23 years. The station commander at Burlington Station in the Marine Bureau for State Police, which is, I'm over the boats that patrol the Delaware River, past Philadelphia Harbor, all the way down to Cape May. That's about it. That's me. Hope it was informative.
What up, fellas? This is Sticks 18 Beta 93. Graduated from Lincoln University in 1993. I'm a finance major. I'm in finance and also in social security. The reason why I pledged Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated because that's all I knew. You know, I fell in love with the four principles. I fell in love with the people that were surrounding me, and also the guy who admired me, who I admired, and who I wanted to be like, my cousin. Pledge in 82, Chi Alpha chapter. Man, I wanted to be just like him. He was like my big brother, or is like my big brother. And wanted to be just like that man. Everything he stood for, man. He stood on his manhood. I stand on mine. We also play basketball. He's the guy I challenge every time. I got to see where I'm at in my game. So that's why, you know, I felt Omega Psi. It was right when I made the right decision. Omega Psi Phi till I die. Earth.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sean McLean. I'm a graduate of Delaware State University, 1994, spring that is. The reason why I pledged Omega Psi Phi back in spring of 1994 is because of the Brotherhood. I always looked out my window at the Conwell Hall, which is located right over the plot, room 206. And I always saw the brothers always fellowship with their purple and gold, wrestling each other, laughing, drinking, smiling. But then I was able to see all the wonderful things that the wonderful men of Omega Psi Phi was able to do. And I too wanted to be a member of Omega Psi Phi. So I applied myself, I asked questions, I kept asking questions, kept inquiring to see what it is that I need to do to one day be Omega Man. And seeing different brothers on the yard, on the campus, and seeing them holding political positions on the campus like president and things of that nature really inspired me to really strive to be an Omega Man. So today, I sit before you, running for president here in the city of Elizabeth for the NAACP. And I've accomplished so much in my life as far as coaching football, community organizing, sending kids to college, sending kids to college with scholarships, sending over 100 kids to Wilberforce University. And to see them come back and say, thank you, Mr. McLean, has been a blessing to me. And hopefully, if it's God's will, I can continue to do that. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Dr. Abraham Gibbs, and I'm a pharmacist. I work for the Hospital of the University of Pennsylvania, and I'm also a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I pledged Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated in 1995 while attending the University of Pittsburgh. While at the University of Pittsburgh, I saw other members of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and I was impressed with the way they carried themselves throughout the campus. I also have members of my family that were members of Omega Psi Phi that I was always curious to understand the mystique of the fraternity that they were in. So once I got to the University of Pittsburgh, I also wanted to become a member of Omega Psi Phi. Once I became a member, I enjoyed the camaraderie and the brotherhood I have with all my fraternity brothers. I've been out of the University of Pittsburgh now several years, and looking back, some of the memories I have are those memories I have with my fraternity brothers. Those reasons are the many reasons why I enjoy being a member of Omega Psi Phi. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Brother Anwan Collins. I am an ordained minister. I'm also a manager with the Social Security Administration, as well as an entrepreneur. I am Beta Chapter Spring 1997 of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I pledged Omega Psi Phi because of the mentors that I had throughout high school, namely being teachers. And I was also a part of mentoring program through the Pi Omega chapter of Omega Psi Phi at my high school called Principal Achievers. And through those mentorships and those programs, I always wanted to know more about Omega Psi Phi. And I did my research, and when I got to Lincoln University and I saw the brothers and the way that they put on programs and how they carried themselves, I decided I wanted to be a part of Omega.
My name is Darren Daniels, and I pledged Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated at King University, Beta Gamma Chapter in spring 1999. I currently reside in Europe, where I lead a cybersecurity center for a healthcare organization. So when I think about why I made it my mission to seek Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, it's because of how I was influenced by, Omega men, in my community earlier on. I had two Omega men in my community that influenced me. And then coming to Chain University, being able to observe the Beta Gamma brothers that were on the yard, being able to observe, probates, and being able to see how these brothers represent the organization, how they represent themselves, and how they interacted, with the campus and with the community. So understanding how, the four cardinal principles of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift, were applied, within Omega, that was very inspirational for me. So I'm glad to be Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Bloody Beta Gamma Chapter, 1/3 of the Almighty Bloody Triangle. Rue.
My name is Dr. Curtis Collins. I am a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity. I live in the southeastern part of Pennsylvania. In the spring of 2000, I joined this impeccable organization at Westchester University. Our chapter is EPI. And the reason why I joined this magnificent chapter and organization is because it is totally aligned with my endeavors and also my leadership aspirations. So, root to the good brothers of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
What's up? This is J. Mac Jameson McLaughlin, and I am a proud brother of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. In the spring semester of 2001, I had the privilege and honor of being initiated into this illustrious fraternity. I thank God for the brothers of Audacious Alpha Eta chapter at East Stroudsburg University and Bloomsburg University for accepting me and giving me the opportunity. I pledged because I saw great things in these great men. I was influenced by many coaches and teachers as an adolescent. And then when I went to college, the brothers on the campus of Bloomsburg University, they were doing great things. And I felt like I wanted to be great. They were great. So why don't we all do great things together? It's been a blessing. And since then, I've become a pastor. I currently serve as a pastor in the Lord's Church at New Hope Baptist Church in Waverly, Virginia, as well as assistant pastor at Mount Olivet Baptist Church. I thank God for the experience, the brotherhood, the friendship, the family connection that we all have.
Hello, my name is Dante Bell, and I'm for EPI Spring 11. What I do is I'm a phys ed teacher as well as a head football coach in the city of Chester. What inspired me from the men of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated were some individuals who are on Cheney University's campus, who truly inspired me to walk the walk and become a man of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Hi, my name is Ronald Gleaves, and I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I crossed in fall 16 at Indiana University of Pennsylvania through the Gamma Mu chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. The reason I joined this illustrious fraternity was because creating a bond amongst men with high standards both scholastically and professionally while still understanding the importance of friendship is crucial for me.
Hello, my name is Julian Graham, school client manager at John Bartram High School, working as an administrator at other school district of Philadelphia. Spring 2018. I became a Mega Man simply Damon Warren, Smash, BG. That was my junior varsity football coach. You used to see him wear his little bucket hat to school or to practice rather. And I just thought that day you're an athlete, you're playing ball, you're strong, hey, you become a Q. And that's all I knew. And once I got to the University of Pittsburgh, Q's wasn't there anymore. When they were suspended at the time, and I thought it was over. I thought I would never become a Q. I was introduced to grad chapter by a few brothers, and nonetheless, what drove it even more, the passion, was just meeting outstanding men, meeting noble men, meeting guys that stood for the community, stood for education, stood for just so many things and the level of professionalism, and that made me seek it even more, and here I stand.
Hello, my name is Miles Fordham Johnson, and I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated through the Beta Gamma chapter at Cheney University. I pledge Omega Psi Phi mainly for the networking. On a more personal note, I chose to pledge Omega Psi Phi so I could build my family's foundation and help contribute in my own personal way. My mother and father have done tremendous things to help impact my life, but I felt as though me growing into the man that I want to be, it would be necessary for me to have a way to contribute to my family and give my that they could build off of a foundation. So this was my way of contributing a foundation to my family.
Hello, how's everybody doing? My name is Brandon Mcnair. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, the Beta Gamma chapter here at University. What made me become a member of Omega Psi Phi was the Brotherhood. When I first got to the campus of Cheney University as a freshman, I didn't know anybody on campus. Didn't really have any friends. First group of people that I came in with the brothers of Omega Psi Phi. They helped me with anything that I needed, helped me around campus, answer any questions, provided their helping hand. And over time, I started to realize that these are a group of young men who treat their fraternity brothers basically like a family. And coming from where I come from, family is most important to me. So I figured, well, why not? So in due time, I went ahead and I became a member of the greatest fraternity in the world, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
When I die and leave this old world, I know there is a place for me. It's in that bright shining light from above, where no man but Omega can be, singing all of my love, all of my love, all of my love, peace and happiness I'm gonna give to Omega. All of my love, peace and happiness I'm gonna give to Omega. All of my love, peace and happiness I'm gonna give to Omega.
Okay, we'd like to thank all the brothers from all over the world, as you see. Omega is everywhere that contributed to that video. This video will be posted on Facebook for a period of time, as well as on a YouTube channel that I'll share towards the end of the program. So a few fast facts about Omega. The history of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Omega is the first international fraternal organization founded on the campus of a historically Black college. On the evening of November 17, 1911, Omega Psi Phi was founded inside the Science Building, later renamed Thurkield Hall, at Howard University, located in Washington, D.C. The founders were 3 undergraduates, Edgar Emmons Love, Oscar James Cooper, and Fred Coleman. Joining them was their faculty advisor, Ernest Everett Just. From the initials of the Greek phrase meaning friendship is essential to the soul, the name Omega Psi Phi was derived. That phrase was selected as the motto. Manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift were adopted as cardinal principles. The founders of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, as stated previously, Dr. Ernest Everett Just, born in Charleston, South Carolina, graduated from the Industrial School of the State College in Orangeburg, South Carolina, Kimball Union Academy, Meridian, New Hampshire, Bachelor's of Arts degree, Dartmouth College. He was a Phi Beta Kappa. Awarded the Spingarn Medal at the NAACP in 1915. Doctor of Philosophy degree, University of Chicago in 1916. Became the 19th honoree in the U.S. Postal Service Black Heritage Stamp Series on February 1st, 1996. Professor Frank Coleman was born in Washington, D.C. He graduated from the M Street High School in Washington, D.C. He received a Bachelor of Science degree from Howard University in 1913, Master of Science degree, University of Chicago, advanced training, University of Pennsylvania, professor and head of the physics department at Howard University, and he was also a U.S. Army officer in World War I. Oscar J. Cooper was born in Washington, D.C., graduated from the M Street School in Washington, D.C., had a Bachelor's of Science degree at Howard University in 1913, medicine degree, and also Howard University in 1917. He practiced medicine in Philadelphia for over 50 years. Bishop Edgar A. Love was born in Harrisonburg, Virginia, graduated from the Academy of Morgan. Bachelor of Arts degree, Howard University, 1913. Bachelor of Divinity degree, Howard University, 1916. Bachelor of Sacred Heart Theology degree, Boston University, 1918. Doctor of Divinity degree, honorary, Morgan College, 1935. He was also a U.S. Army chaplain in World War I and also a bishop of a Methodist church. Omega has had many men throughout the years that are very famous. Here are a few now. Activists like Jesse Jackson, astronauts, Brother Ronald Mcnair, athletes and entertainer, Michael Jordan, Steve Harvey, businessmen, Earl Graves, educator, Carter G. Woodson, who started Negro History Week, which later became Black History Month, military men, Colonel Charles Young, who was the first African-American Army colonel, and Charles Drew, who started the process of blood plasma. Omega Psi Phi has a rich history, not just in Omega, but in American history and also in world history. For more about us, you can always check out our website, which is oppf.org. This is a website that's open to everyone around the world. Now, what you've all been waiting for, our panelists for this evening. So you can take yourselves off mute now. First we have Brother Johnny L. Gibbs. Johnny L. Gibbs, pledged Omega Lambda Chapter, 1987. He's a securities operations specialist with Wells Fargo Bank and also an entrepreneur. He is currently the boss list of Omega Lambda Chapter. Good evening, Brother Gibbs.
Good evening, brother, and the rest of the brothers. How are you all?
Great. Good evening, brother.
Let's say something about Brother Gibbs real fast. His mother was my kindergarten reading teacher. That's how long I've been knowing. Brother.
Yes, I've known Brother Warren since I was like 5 years old.
That's right. South Philadelphia, man. For sure. Next we have Brother Bertrand Lawson, Beta Chapter, 1996. He is a COO, Chief Operating Officer of Mastery Charter School Network, and also the current boss list of Palm Union Chapter. Good evening, Brother Bertrand.
Good evening, Brother Warren. Good evening, Braz. Good evening, audience.
Good evening, brother.
Next we have Brother Mark Edwards, New Omega Chapter, 2000. He is the CEO of the Food Trust. He is also the boss list of Mu Omega Chapter. Good evening, Brother Mark.
Good evening, Brother Warren, and good evening to the brothers of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and good evening to all those listening.
Next we have
Mark.
Good evening, Brother Damas.
Oh, we have a special guest. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. I guess special guest. Brother Sunni K. Blackwell, Epsilon Pi Chapter, 2000. He's the current athletic director for the Cheltenham School District, and also the boss list of Epsilon Pi Chapter. Good evening, Brother Blackwell.
Good evening, Brother Warren. Good evening, my brothers. Good evening to everyone tuning in tonight. God bless.
Good evening, Brother Sunni.
Next we have Dr. Al Dorsey, Zeta Iota Iota Chapter, 2009. Pediatric anesthesiologist, and also current boss list of Zeta Iota Iota Chapter. Good evening, Brother Dorsey. Or Dr. Dorsey, sorry about Dr. Dorsey. Good evening, Dr. Dorsey.
Brother. Good evening, Brother Warren, fellow panelists, special guests, and registrants. Good evening.
Good evening, Brother Dorsey.
And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize my special guest. This is the Braz. I love the Braz, right? Brother Demas Stephens, one of my OGs. Hey, you listen, that's my man. I know, Beta Chapter, 1980. International March Master, retired educator and owner of business, things of that nature. So good evening, Brother Demas.
Good evening, Brother Warren. Good evening, Brother Basalai. and all participants this evening. It's a pleasure to be on here, my brothers.
I'm glad you could join us, Brother Demise.
He's
Okay.
perfect.
So, brother Gibbs, just when you get a chance, check the questions inside the chat. Some are popping up in there now. We get into our discussion. This can go from anybody. We'll take this question first. When or how did you first learn about Omega Psi Phi? That question goes to everyone. Whoever would like to go first.
I'll take it first since I'm going to be monitoring the chat. I was introduced to the fraternity around 1977. I attended a camp called Camp Zowie, and I had two counselors that were members of Omega Psi Phi, Dino and Terrell. Some of you know, most of you know Terrell, but some of you may not know Dino. So they represented very well. They showed leadership qualities, and they had us singing Q songs. So that was my first introduction to the fraternity. I was about 10 years old at the time.
I'll follow up with Brother Gibbs. So my introduction to the fraternity was coincides with Brother Gibbs to a certain extent. Former Grand KRS Terrell Paris is my godfather, but also was my sixth grade teacher. And Brother Eugene Golson from Westchester was my music teacher in elementary school. So both of those brothers were my first introduction to Omega. And also just the video, dating myself a little bit, Chubb Rock video, Braz hopping in the video was another part of my introduction to the fraternity.
Get them right.
Good evening, brothers. Brother Mark Edwards here. And just a special shout out to Brother Demas Stephens, my dean, brother who ushered me into Omega. My introduction to Omega was in August of 1980 on the campus of Morehouse College. Born and raised in Philadelphia, went to school at Morehouse, knew nothing about Greek life. And one of my dorm mates from Florida, Frank Peterman, who I was very close to because we were both freshmen together. We were there at freshman week together. Told me about Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I knew nothing about it. So he said, well, come on and go with me because there's a special assembly where all of the Greeks are going to be coming before the student body to talk about the organizations. And so I went with them, learned about the different organizations, didn't really relate to any of what I heard. And then the gentlemen of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated came before the student body and talked about their four cardinal principles: manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. I heard that, and I certainly saw myself in that. And then I followed suit from there and ended up on my journey, which took me 20 years later here to Philadelphia into the Omega chapter.
How did I first learn about Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated? Growing up in Chester, PA, a lot of Omega men from there, like I would call them prominent, you know, going through the Chester Upland School District, playing sports. They were very active in the community, not only as educators, but fathers, and was a positive light on the community. So Brother Crawford, Brother Dexter Davis, Brother Dr. Dexter Davis. I had cousins, the Jackson family from New Chapter, who were brothers on my mom's side, who always showed love for the purple and gold, Brother Clifton Smith. So just seeing those brothers, now that I'm in, understanding the cardinal principles and knowing that that's what they were doing within the community, you know, that's when I first learned about Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated as a youngster.
Dr. Dorsey?
Yeah, so my path was a little different. So I didn't come from a long line of college graduates, but I was committed to a career in medicine. So I didn't know anything about Greek life before I got to Lincoln University. But one thing was clear when I got there, is that the Qs were the coolest bros on the campus. That was clear. So, but I was committed to this medical education pathway. I was only on Lincoln's campus for a couple of years, and I thought that opportunity was basically lost to me. Life goes on. Fast forward many years, several decades actually, and one of my very good friends and my sponsor, member of Futuristic 5, Beta 76, Brother Van Brown, and I had a conversation several decades later about a different pathway. I could still become a member of this great organization. And as much, despite my well beyond college age at that time, and my feeling that yes, but everything was an excuse. And I pursued that pathway. I was guided by Brother Steffens as my dean, Brother VQ as my sponsor, and primarily the men of Beta Chapter. And it allowed me to enter this prestigious organization at a point in my life that I thought I wouldn't be able to. And it remains one of the best decisions of my adult existence.
Okay. Brother Steffens, for special guest, Brother Steffens, you want to take that question too, Brother Steffens?
Yes, sir, Brother Warren. My journey, my introduction first came through my stepfather and my stepbrother. My stepfather, Ron James, may he rest in peace, Mu Omega 77. I was in high school at the time, and I actually got to see bits and pieces of his journey into Omega. Then was followed by my stepbrother, Brother Rob James, Xi Lambda Chapter 78. And I really didn't have too much of a choice in which way I was going. It was either I was going Omega or nothing, you know, so that began. And then my older sister actually attended Lincoln University before I did. And that was in 74, 75, I want to say. So I went up there and was doing homecoming, and I actually got to see it was a line that was on, and I believe it was for the Oscar Ryder, and that may have been online at that time, 74. And it was a whole experience just watching them. They was in a whole different world. I believe they were in Hell Week at the time, so we all know what's that's like. But that was my first introduction into Omega, and I sit here today about to celebrate 40 years in Omega, December 5th, 2020.
Wow, awesome, awesome and amazing. And so as the moderator, I'm not supposed to really get in and answer questions, but I'm gonna answer this one question, then the rest I'm not gonna say anything else. So for me, you know, the first time, just like Brother Gibbs, Brother Lawson, I was introduced to Omega in a day camp, a different day camp. It was actually at the White Rock Baptist Church, and it was the Harambe Day Camp. And the Harambe Day Camp at that time was ran by the great Brother John Skeef. Right? Brother John Skeef, may he rest in peace. And also Brother John Lay, who also actually went to Chain University, played the Beta Gamma chapter in 1968. And, you know, I knew nothing about that at the time. All I knew was when I used to act up, you know, they would give us these special exercises that I would do. Right? Sometimes I could make certain trips. And we all kind of, you know, we don't get into all those things now, but I would stay at the camp sometime. I couldn't go on certain trips, but I learned from those exercises. Later in life, I found out more what those things were about. But it definitely taught me some discipline. You know, it kind of helped me to form the foundation of what I will become later in life. So, you know, rest in peace, Brother John Skeef, you know, Brother Lay, for introducing me to Omega at a very, very young age, at 11 years old. Yes, I can definitely say that. So, so we talked about how we got introduced into Omega. But when did you first fall in love with Omega? Anybody can take that question. Is that the same? Was that you just said? It could be a little bit different. Did you fall in love with Omega?
Since it all starts with one, I'll go.
It's a bunch of aces on here, but deference, Brother Gibbs.
But I was a one first. I would have to say between the years of 1982 and 85. 82 is probably around the year I started going to the Greek picnic. And I saw the presence of the brothers. And out of all the organizations out there, no one got the center of attention like the brothers of Omega Psi Phi. Fast forward to 85, the first school I attended was Norfolk State University. And when you first go on the HBCU campus, as some of you very well know, it's like a big block party when you first get there. And all the fraternities, all the sororities, everybody walking around. And when that happened, no one caught their attention like the Bras. And the Bras always had a way of trying to, go everywhere last. So they would make an entrance while everyone else is still there, and everything stops when the brothers come around. So I went to a Q party, and I'm just standing there watching things. And the brothers were the most down-to-earth fraternity on the campus. I'm standing there watching. The brothers come and try to make you comfortable, try to make you enjoy yourself. Yo, man, and I'm not going to say what the brother said, but he was like, yo, man, just go in this, that, and the other. And made you feel very at home. Later that night after the party was over on the campus, and again, this is my first experience on the campus. We heard all this commotion late at night. We didn't know what was going on. We thought a fight was going on the yard. The brothers was out marching. You had sisters with curlers in their hair and their scarves on. And so I was very impressed with that. And that's when I fell in love with the Bras.
Yeah. So I would say the first time I fell in love with the Bras is I had not seen Q's on a college campus till I got to Lincoln University. So my first 2 weeks on campus, the Spring 93 line, a Beta chapter crossed. So I had never seen a probate in my life. And what captured my love and attention was the camaraderie of the brothers who came back, who I could tell were not current students who had graduated, to see these newer brothers into the fold, how they mingled, talked, chatted, push each other, joke with each other, talk trash, all that stuff. But the love and the camaraderie that was happening, and how the campus was so galvanized to see these 18 men cross into the organization. And thereafter, that line and those who remained on the campus, some of them became tutors and mentors of mine. Some of them became just close friends. And that really started to get me to understand more about, well, this is just not a fraternity. This is not just brotherhood. These guys are trying to help me and impact me in a different way. And then one night, it was Beta Chapter reunion. So February 6, 1914, Beta Chapter was founded, but back to Beta reunion. It was, I don't know how many Qs on the yard, the Mots might know, but it was like my freshman year, it was probably like 500. And they were marching in the gym, and the lights came on, and they were marching into Bump and Grind. And I had never seen nothing like that day in my life. I'm standing in the corner, and brothers are just killing the floor, stumping the floor crazy, and everybody's going crazy. And I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm definitely going to do that. It already was in my mind, but I already seen the brothers do all the projects and everything, but it was just the build up to see that they owned the campus, and they just didn't own it from a party perspective. It was all the social work and activities they were doing as well. And they seemed to be bigger than life as a freshman to me.
Just as Brother Gibbs described, going to an HBCU, I found myself as a freshman at Morehouse College. One day I left the dorm, me and the same brother that I spoke of earlier. He said, come on. The Qs are stepping. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what to expect. But as we were going up the hill to where the fraternity house was, the Q house was, just hordes of people started to gather. And when we got to the top of the hill, I saw this line of men, and they were all dressed in military fatigue. They were dressed as sailors, and they had sailor hats on, the white sailor hats, and then they had sunglasses on, and they started to march, and they started to sing, and they had such enthusiasm. And the men of the fraternity who were standing all around them at one point started singing with them, and the crowd just went absolutely crazy. So I began to really observe and watch closely to see what this was all about. And I learned that these men had the highest averages in biology. They were Phi Beta Kappa. Whatever their chosen department was or discipline was, they were achieving the highest scholastic accolades within those departments. Socially, Morehouse being an all-male school, we went across the street to Spelman or across another street to Clark, the Qs just ran the campus. And I said, I want that. I want that experience.
For me, I fell in love with Omega Psi Phi, NYSP Cheney University. God bless Coach Hintz, because met him through the game of golf, right? And then he told my father about the NYSP Cheney University camp. So when I went there, that was my first time just being on a college campus. But one thing that I knew that I learned that Coach Hintz was a bruh. But also what I learned and saw is how he looked out for the brothers of Omega Psi Phi. Gave them jobs, summer jobs and everything. Later to find out and knowing about Beta Gamma, BG. So, I mean, those bros were thorough, man. They were cool. They were guys from the city and they were like big brothers. So, I got to shout out Tone, BG. He's my lifeguard, Rich, he was one of my counselors, and my Chester brother in Hollywood, man, one of the coolest, smoothest dudes I know, and them guys taking me like under when I was like 13, 12 years old, and they were just real dudes, man, and they just took a young brother under their wing, and I just saw, sometimes they'd set out some hops or they talk their little stuff, but I mean, it was cool, to see that, to see educated young brothers from the city, coming from Chester, Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? So it gave me something to see different. And that's when I fell in love with Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
And before you go, listen, that thing right there is the reason why we're doing this evening, because the young people out there and their parents, they're out there, young people may watch this later on. It's all about what we see is what we be, right? So we see these brothers come before us, these mentors, these coaches, these educators, these businessmen, all these people, right? And then they inspire us. And then we begin to join the fraternity. And then after that, we give it to somebody else. So I just wanted to interject that right there. Go ahead, Brother Dorsey. You about to say?
And it's great that you just interjected that, because that's what's key. It's keeping the mentorship, the reach back, lift as we climb. We know what that means. My love for the fraternity, as I stated earlier, started on Lincoln's campus. Even though I did not pledge on Lincoln's campus, everybody else that I knew did. And as I watched that process, my good friend, Brother Dr. Brunell Chandler from high school, watched him. The thing that's interesting is that at this point is that as years later, seeing the other side, so not the college campus and the marching and the stepping, but the social action, the commitment to the community, the scholarship of the bros, seeing that as an adult and recognizing that no other organization combines those aspects. We are the only fraternity to have manhood as part of our cardinal principles, followed by scholarship. that combination is unique. And that resonated with me. And that's where the love started for me. So it was, you know, many of Brother Damas will remember many of my, shall I say, guides, prophytes. Why are you doing this now at this point in your life? Because now was my time. Now was my time. And so I've always had love for the fraternity, and it's a beautiful thing. And Brother Warren, this is a great thing you're doing tonight.
Thank you all. It's all beautiful for all of us, man. Brother Damas, when did you first fall in love with the frat?
I entered Lincoln University 1978. And actually during my freshman orientation week, there was a softball game going on, and it was people sitting up on a railing, and this one sister ended up falling backwards on the railing. It was the railing of Ashman Hall. She fell backwards, and it was a deep drop, and she actually broke her neck and died. You know, so yeah, it was very sad. But what happened is the Brothers of Omega Beta chapter stepped up and put together a memorial for her. And there is a headstone on the side of Mary Dodd Brown Chapel to this day that the Brothers of Beta have placed there. That was my freshman year. So to see them step up out of all the fraternities to memorialize this sister and you know, give somewhat comfort to the family, impressed me. And followed by seeing the 1978 line, the anticipatory 4, go online and, you know, observe their process from the outside looking in, and then to see their probate show, and they were so down to earth. You know, they spoke to everyone. You know, they end up taking me under their wing when my stepdad came up to Lincoln for homecoming, and he came up frat down, frat jacket and all that. From that point on, they motioned to me, like, we got our eyes on you now for real, since we know your dad was a brother. Because I never told them that my dad or my father was a brother. You know, I wanted to earn it on my own. But once they found that out, they took me under their wing. And we did a lot of things that summer, especially Brother Nathaniel Skip Waters, you know, who had pledged Ada Kappa Millersville, but transferred to Lincoln University. He became one of my closest friends. And that's when I really fell in love with the fraternity before I was a brother.
Okay. So, brothers, we live by the cardinal principles of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. But is there one cardinal principle that resonates more with you than any of the others? Is there one that means the most to you of the 4? Anybody can take that question.
I'll take that first.
Well, let's get some order. Let's get some order here.
Get some order. Definitely. Okay. All right, Brother Damas, you got it.
1980 would take this one first. Well, I can't say actually one, because I will combine perseverance and uplift. Okay, to persevere, and we've all have persevered through a lot of hard times or challenges in our life, but through that perseverance, there's always some brothers that give you that uplift, and all of us have given other brothers and other people as well, family members, friends, uplift while they're persevering, you know, through the challenges of life. So I would combine perseverance and uplift myself.
Okay, from my vantage point, I would say manhood, because manhood is what determines how well you represent the other principles. When you walk in a room, the first thing they see is the man. After they see the man, then you get a chance to show your character within the principle afterwards. So for me, it would be manhood.
Mine would be uplift. I know from a young kid, I always believed in uplifting others or helping out others. My careers, working for the YMCA for 20 something years, now working in the education industry. It's all about uplift for me. I really wanted to help people and impact people in that manner. So that one sticks out for me.
Yeah, and I would say for me, given my where I grew up, how I grew up, what it took in order to walk the streets of West Philadelphia in the 1970s, you had to hold your own. You had to stand on your own. So for me, it's manhood. And even when my interest in the fraternity started on Morehouse campus, seeing the men of Psi Chapter, that was one of the things that stood out for me too, that distinguished them from everybody else. They were solid, hardcore men. And for me, because manhood was so important for me, being responsible, delivering on the things that I'm responsible for delivering on, and being a person of duty, manhood is the most important cardinal principle that stands out for me. They're all important, but manhood is the one that stands out for me.
For me, it would be scholarship. Because just looking at all the cardinal principles, manhood, scholarship, perseverance, uplift. Scholarship is always the thing that always stands out to me. I was always told that your education is something no one can take away from you. You know what I mean? No matter what. So, and I said this before, I say it again, Chester, Pennsylvania, man, that's where I'm from. I wear it on my back. And I mean, manhood, perseverance, uplift. I mean, shucks. You got to stand your ground, persevering, coming from an inner city, uplift is always there. But scholarship is something that, growing up in Chester, sometimes we overlook. And from a lot of the surrounding boroughs, such as, around Chester Upland School District. So hearing a lot as a, young man that, you have a 4.0 GPA, but that doesn't stand up to other school districts that would be a 2.5 if it was there. I took that to heart. So, always, staying grounded in my books and being a student athlete, being, the first in my family to do a lot of things as far as when it comes to education and scholarship. So when seeking this fraternity, when I saw, the manhood scholarship, was in there, that always stands out to me because I don't forget, and I stand on the shoulders of those who couldn't be educated, that fought, for us to be where we are today. So scholarship is something that is definitely not taken for granted. And to those who are out here watching, none of these men would be in this fraternity if we didn't meet the attainment of scholarship, because there's a certain GPA along with certain characteristics that you must have. So scholarship is something that always will resonate and be number one in my book.
Anybody else? Okay.
Yeah, so brother Suni, I'll just amplify what you said. I mean, clearly the cardinal principles layer on each other. That's why manhood is the foundation. My mother was an educator, and so in our household, scholarship was valued very highly. And I committed to, at least in my mind, to pursuing a career in medicine early on, and that required a tremendous perseverance in the scholarship area. And so as I pursued that and got into environments in which there were fewer and fewer individuals who looked like me, that required me standing on my manhood in order to persevere through that and be successful. And so, and now spending much of my career reaching back and educating and uplifting those who have similar pursuits. So it's very hard to pick out one cardinal principle, but I would pick out scholarship.
All of us, in one form or another, are educators. Some may hold that title, some may not, in terms of being teachers per se, or working in education. However, when it comes to the youth of today, what advice do you have for them on what they need to do in order to prepare for life after high school? Anybody can take that.
Well, I'll make deference to my 1980 bro if he want to go first.
My advice would be, first of all, try your best to surround yourself with positive people. There's a lot of negative factors that plague our society, our communities in this day and time. And you have to be strong to be able to avoid it, engage yourself in, positive things, positive activities. Everyone may not attend college. Some may want to go into a vocation in terms of a type of job, but either whatever direction you go, I would say surround yourself with positive individuals. Look for role models such as Omega Men to latch on to. We have a lot of programs in our various chapters, mentoring programs, bridge builders, in which we are engaging, our young brothers, to be a part of, so they can have a path that they can try their best to follow. And of course, we're all college educated men and graduates. And it's just about us, coming together as brothers from various chapters, but we definitely have to be in the forefront of guiding our young men and women, in a positive direction.
I would say first and foremost is to have discipline. You cannot achieve anything without discipline. Realize the power of having a mentor and what you're going to achieve through networking. Be a critical thinker, be humble, and live by a set of values that will keep you focused on your goals. Continue educating yourself. And I'll say a quote by Brother Malcolm X. I'm saying brother because he's not a frat brother, but a brother. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today.
Now, I'll build on that what Brother Gibbs said around education. My message would be, is educate yourself beyond the classroom. Classroom is a place, or school is a place where you get a certain type of education, but you need to expand that, because you're supposed to be a vehicle and focus on getting a wealth of knowledge. So you can be educated in various places. You can get information from people that you may not even think you can get information from, that might have been falling on hard times, but their hard times is also a part of education and learning from that. Identifying your goal more so tied to your passion, and chasing that, and not letting people derail you from that. Some people will try it. Family, friends will try to derail you from what you would say is your passion. But I would always say go after that. So educate yourself beyond the classroom, identify your passion and go after that, but also make sure that you never diminish someone else's experience, and not see it as an opportunity to learn from them.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with all that has been said by the rest of the brothers, and it's no accident that there's a common thread that you are hearing within all of the advice that you're getting as it relates to this one question, that common thread being learning and education. And I would say, be a lifelong learner. Be a lifelong learner. Never stop learning. Never stop growing. and absolutely surround yourself with positive people. If you're around somebody or a group of people that's going in the wrong direction, then you need to separate yourself from that. Be confident in who you are as an individual. Don't try to be like somebody else. Be yourself. Be comfortable in your own skin. Don't live by somebody else's standards. I would also just add, related to the comment that was made by Brother Gibbs about values. I'm a person of faith. Whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, you have to live by a set of standards and be true to those standards and do the best that you can do. Be the best person that you can be and never stop pursuing that goal.
Else?
And Brother Edwards, man, you said everything. I'm gonna echo everything Brother Edwards just said. My fellow 2000 bro right there. That's true to it. But I mean, some things I jotted down. I mean, I would just say to the youth today, definitely believe in yourself. Shorten your circle. As you begin to get older, shorten your circle. Understand what the term friend means. Within this organization, friendship is essential to the soul. And that means something. So shorten your circle, begin to, in that circle, you have a mentor, you have, friends, but you always should be able to learn from someone. And like Bruh said, you have to be a lifelong learner. Don't be a know-it-all, because we're all students of life. We're all seeking knowledge in some form and fashion. Whatever you're looking to become or be, start doing your research. There's opportunities out there, a lot of different programs, definitely mentorship programs, co-op programs, all those kind of things. Like Brother Demas said, it's not just, going to a 4-year school. It could be a trade, it could be anything. But set goals, but be a goal getter. Don't just be a goal setter. Look to achieve those goals. Go get those goals. And I'll leave a quote is one of my favorite quotes, that I always say to folks. Vision without action is a daydream. Action without vision just passes time. But vision with action can change the world. So, young people, you the future. It's your time. It's your time to step up and get what's yours, because it's out here. It's out here, and we just got to continue to seek it and grow together.
I love hearing all these comments. There's, for those of you who celebrate Kwanzaa, you'll know Kuji Chakalia, which is self-determination, which is, for me, means don't let anything external define who you are. And all of the panelists have touched on this a little bit, but whether you call it be true to yourself, shorten your circle, when you're true to yourself, your friends will support you. They will not make fun of you. They will help you. So pursue your passion. It doesn't have to be college, but whatever it is that moves you, be yourself, and don't let external, be it factors or people or your environment, determine who you're going to be. And with that internal, and you'll notice this reflects all back to the fraternity's cardinal principles, and that's why they resonate with all of us. And you will reach your aspirations. We refer to in this fraternity the star of aspiration, and that has special meaning for us. So That's the advice I would give to young people.
And once again, the questions are for all of you, but I just have to add just one thing here, just one more time, especially since you said Kuji Jacqueline, self-determination. You're looking at two former principals here of Harambe, right? Two former principals of Harambe, Brother Damas, then also myself. So for me, the one thing I must add is being culturally competent, right? You know, as Black men from the African diaspora, being culturally competent, wherever you are from, young people, just be proud of who you are. Represent your culture all day long. We, as brothers from the African diaspora, represent that. So I just wanted to add that in there too as well.
Ashe.
Ashe. Bring it down 7 times. Let's go. Around there. Let's bring it down.
Yes, sir.
All day, every day. So listen, we have some brothers out there in the world right now that are seeking. We know this, right? Some brothers hit me up saying, can I come? Can I come? Yeah, sure. It's for you too. So if you're out there watching right now, we have various bachelors and past bachelors right here on the panel. So the next question is, what advice would you give to brothers, whether it be undergraduate or graduate? We have all graduate bachelors right now that are seeking to join our fraternity, as well as those that have recently joined. What advice do you have for these brothers? That you can say,
brother. I'm
right
always going to give deference to the 80 breath he wants to go.
Let me clarify.
I'll go last. I'll go
all
last.
Right, he'll go last.
Things you can say right here on this platform. Just put it that
way. I would suggest that they understand the history of the fraternity and understand what the vision of the founders were. Understand that you will be a role model and what it is to stand tall and strong as a Black male in this society. Study and know that what you're seeing is not always Omega. When you study the history of Omega and other things that we have, then you learn what the true meaning of Omega is. It's not always what you see.
So I would add to that is, understand as much as you can and ask questions to really get what you're trying to get yourself into. The organization, you want to be a lifelong contributor to her, as we state Omega to her. You want to be active. Life has roller coasters and changes, and that can deter. But understand that if you commit and you want to be a member of Omega, it is a lifelong commitment. And if you have joined recently, establish yourself by seeking and asking questions. As Bruh said earlier, but another part of the segment was be a lifelong learner. That's even once you become a member of this organization. Still seek knowledge to understand the essence of Omega. And it'll start to get a little clear. I have 24 years in the fraternity, and my love for her is still the same as the first day when I crossed. But it is based upon the fact that I continue to seek, learn, and understand her, and why the fraternity founders created her for us, and the opportunity for me to serve the organizations and ultimately serve the Black community at the highest level. And I believe Omega is the highest level of service.
I'm gonna defer to my sayings, Brother Blackwell.
I echo what every brother just said. Continue to seek, do your research. Commitment. I say it again, commitment. It's a lifelong commitment to Omega. And it's not what we take from her. Brother Lawson was saying, what do we give to her? Are you a leader or are you a follower? That's what you got to ask yourself. And also, for graduates, understand your purpose and look at the chapter you're seeking and the community you serve. Very important. So And undergraduates, study your campuses, you know, see what's there. Yeah, the parties are great, and, you know, wearing the gold boots hurt your feet, but but you know, once that's done, how are you leading? It goes back to leadership, and then I'll just leave it at commitment.
And you've heard the term used to define many of us on the call, either current or former basileia. The word basileus, which is a Greek word, means leader of leaders. So first and foremost, you have to be a leader, not a follower. And I'm gonna take put a little bit of a different spin on it. I'm gonna say, don't do it. Don't do it if you just want to wear a shirt. Don't do it if you just want to hang out and be out. Don't do it if you just want to socialize. But if you're going to do it, just as the brothers have said, make it a lifelong commitment, because Omega is a jealous lover. That's what I was taught. And that's the truth. Omega is a jealous lover. So if this is what you want to do, understand this is something that you would be signing up for life. You heard some of the songs being sung. You saw the diversity in age of brothers who represented themselves as men of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And it means something if a brother is here telling you he's been in the fraternity 40 years, 45 years, 20 years. How does a person become a member of an organization and be true to that organization for 40, 50, 60 years? We have 70-year brothers. These are men who are committed to the 4 cardinal principles, committed to the organization, committed to making a difference in the lives of the community, of the people in the communities that we serve. So if you say that you're interested in Omega Psi Phi fraternity, then understand that you're going to need to explain and convince a group of brothers as to why that is. And it can't be because my friend is going, so I'm going. You have to walk this journey on your own. Many have started the journey of Omega, and more didn't end.
Facts, good brother. All facts. Anybody else? Before we go to the chat room for a couple of questions.
Many are called, few are chosen. So we know that. And you, Brother Edwards, you called it perfectly. So not only do you have to convince the members of the fraternity that you're committed, you have to demonstrate your commitment. And if you're just interested in the socializing, then you won't succeed. Because it requires more. It is the Omega life, and it is for life. No matter when you enter the fraternity, even as and I think on some level, you have to demonstrate those aspects even before you enter the fraternity at a graduate level. That's one of the key things that we look for at that point, that you've already demonstrated those cardinal principles in your life. So for the undergraduates, know that it is we want you for life. It is a lifelong commitment, and that's what's important.
We have a question from one of the brothers, Brother Omari Baruti. He has, great for my brothers. I once read that before you follow another brother, find out who he is following. Please ask the panelists who they follow to get their insight, enthusiasm, and direction. Brother Omega 04 Beta 74. Brother Up.
Awesome.
May I? brothers. Well, from the previous question, I pretty much will echo everything the brother have said. Brother Edwards, you read my mind in some of your statements. But
Where did I get that from?
Just to sum up that real quick, I would say the same thing. Don't do it just to wear a t-shirt or to step or to party, as far as our undergrad brothers and graduate brothers. Do it because of what we stand for. And make sure it's a good fit for you, because we as Omega Men, we select. And we have to make sure that you are a good fit for us. You know, and on the graduate level, don't do it because it's part of your bucket list. You know, this is a lifelong commitment, as everyone have stated, and it takes work. It takes work for us to constantly improve Omega. That's what we're about. I am a 40-year active member, which means I've been active for 40 years in this fraternity, which means I've made a commitment to this fraternity. 40 years out of my life, out of 60 years out of my life, I've committed to Omega. Came into Omega at the age of 20. You know, so those who are aspiring to seek membership to Omega, make sure you learn about us, learn about our founders, and try to understand their thought process, why they established our great and illustrious organization. And there was a whole cultural history behind the founding of our organization in 1911. And those are the things you need to find out about who we are and what we're about in order to move forward. So I just want to sum that up, brothers. The individual who I followed, who gave me inspiration, well, besides my stepdad and stepbrother, was Brother Kevin Smith. Actually, it was Oscar's blind brother, Beta 74. He was my inspirer. He was my motivator. I just studied him. I watched his actions. I watched his presence on Lincoln's campus. I watched his presence and his actions when he was one of the major founders of Omega Lambda chapter. And I followed his footsteps in the things that he was doing, you know, and that's who guided me to where I'm at today. So thanks, Brother O, for your line brothers' inspiration and motivation.
Okay.
Does everyone, you want everyone to answer that question?
Well, he asked for some of the panelists. So any
Okay.
panelists that would like to answer, please feel free to do so.
I'll just go real quickly. The person that I follow would be, you know, obviously my godfather, Terrell Paris and Brother Golson. But when I got to Lincoln, one of the brothers from the 93 line, 11 Beta 93, Damon Reed. Damon Reed was the bosses of the chapter at the time when I was a freshman. Damon was my tutor for one of my classes. Damon is very down to earth. I consider Damon a big brother. Can call him for advice often. But Damon took me under his wing and he was the bosses of the chapter. So very important position in the fraternity. But he took me under his wing, talked to me about a variety of different things. And that's a person that I watched, observed, and to really make my final decision, like, yeah, I want to be the Brez, especially if it's brothers like Damon in the fraternity. I want to be around those type of men.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll just jump in real quick. You know, first and foremost, I follow Jesus Christ. I follow the Word of God, because that's very important to me. But God has blessed me, and He's blessed me by putting the kind of men around me that we're talking to today. And so you may have heard me joke with Brother Stevens, and the reason that Brother Steffens, I'm sorry, the reason that I joke with him is because he was my dean. So I follow him at Omega. I follow him. I look at his commitment to Brotherhood. I look at his commitment to Omega. He's true to Omega every day, right? And so, that was part of his greeting, but he lives it. Right? And then there are brothers in my chapter, you know, brother, we call him Porky, but brother Howard James, brother Bill Smith, I mean, brother Dr. William Harris, brother Terrell Paris. I mean, the list goes on and on. I've got a number of men right here on earth, in addition to the word of God. I got a number of men right here on earth that I am blessed to be able to follow. And so those are some of the brothers that I follow.
What else?
So I'll chime in and just to so the participants in the call will recognize that Brother Stephan's 40 years results in a lineage. He was also my dean and has been my guide along with my sponsor, Brother Van Brown, Beta 76. And so Lincoln University, those brothers on that campus who I know personally from earlier in life have all been my guide. And Brother Stephens knows that I frequently say to him, I'll set you out for life. So his ability to guide men into Omega and help develop their leadership capabilities is directly in front of me. And so it becomes easy to see how that progresses and how Omega continues to improve, because we try to be like him, and then we teach those behind us to be like us.
For me, looking at brothers, you know, that I follow, that I call, contact, you know, whatever it is, any time of the day, any time of the night, I look at how these brothers lead by example and looking at their years of service. So, you know, I would say Brother Harrison Potts, Brother Dr. Dexter Davis Sr., Brother Clifton Smith. These brothers are, you know, brothers who have been not only inspirational in my growth in Omega, but, you know, just seeing how these brothers continue to work for the fraternity. So I call them my OGs, you know, my old heads, you know, just simply because they lead by example, and, you know, the years of service that they have within, still being active and just always just having words of encouragement. And I cannot forget Brother Donzelle Tiller. So, you know, these brothers have been a part of my Omega journey since I joined in spring 2000. And I pledged at 19 years old. So I was the only one on the line of 5 that had to ride and get my application signed by my mother so I could pledge. So so just my journey, 19 years old to you know, to now, it's a remarkable thing. And just meeting, you know, all these good brothers who are here, you know, this is what this thing is about. This is what this thing is about. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I would say, of course, Brother Stephens is one. Brother Curtis Starks, Brother William Dent. And the reason why I picked those 3, because as a potential, and even as a newer brother, there was always the brothers that had conversations with you. They always would pick your brain and wanted to know what you were thinking. And they were an inspiration to you for more ways than one. From afar, I would say Reverend Jeremiah Wright and Minister Farrakhan, because anyone who knows me knows I'm pro. And they are unapologetically Black and unashamedly Black, and that's what we should stand for. And it's a good example for the fraternity.
If I could just jump in just for a little bit on this one. I said I'm not going to keep on doing it. I can't be the brothers and not jumping just a little bit.
That's right. So, it's all right, bro. It's all right. It's all right.
is I love you all, man. And I'm going to go a little bit differently because there was a brother who just became a brother 3 years ago, 2017, my best friend in the entire world, Kevin DeWalt. And Kevin DeWalt actually won the Achievement Week Award back in high school. So when you talk about falling in love with Omega, I actually saw that ceremony and I saw these men with suits on. I don't even remember who they were. With suits on, and then they're very professional, and lawyers and teachers and doctors and so on and so forth. And he got his award. And we were both supposed to go to Central State in Ohio to play football. Central State at that time was about to become a powerhouse. Changed my mind at the last minute. Played for Cheney. That's another form. That's another conversation. But he went out there and he couldn't get down out there because they had issues, and he just went over recently, right? But seeing him, and he was the guy that kind of inspired me to do well in school because I was headed down the wrong path. So those young people out there, you may find some people in your life, as some of the brothers already said, and you're going in the wrong direction. Get with those guys and put you in the right direction. Brother Kevin DeWalt definitely was that guy, and he wasn't even the brother until a couple of years ago. And I was actually his Chamberlain when I brought him in a couple of years ago out in Beta Iota in Ohio. But however, once I became the brothers, Brother Gibbs, you already mentioned them, Brother Demas, and I had my brothers on my campus, don't get me wrong. But when I came back down to Philadelphia and I got introduced to the Philadelphia International All-Star team, I'm just going to say, you know, and I was so upset that I caught the flu right around the time when we was practicing down University of Penn, and it was myself and Dunk. Only two Neos. It was myself and Dunk. Only two Neos, and Dunk made the team, and I didn't make the team because I caught the flu. I missed the last few days of practice. I just couldn't make it. I knew I was gonna make that team, but still, you know, Demise, still, I don't know if you're still getting down like that today, brother. I mean, you got it. I got two new hips. I can't do it anymore. I still had knee replacements. He's still getting down, still setting out. You know, OG Bucky Dent.
That's right.
OG Bucky Dent. Kent. Listen, Mike Griff, rest in peace. Marty, rest in peace. I mean, all those good. Right.
Marty.
I saw them brothers. I said, I'm going to march like that. And not just be a marching bro, but be a good bro. Right, be a solid brother. Those guys inspired me, and I took those skills back up to Cheney University, and we began knocking off everybody else on the step shows. So I appreciate the brothers. That was my thing, because we all had a job. Joe Devane took care of the scholarship and the student government. You know, the other brothers took care of party. I took care of the marching. So thank y'all brothers back there for inspiring me to bring back that lineage of hopping or marching, as we called it back then.
That's right.
That's right. That's
right. That's right.
That's
we
right.
didn't know what hopping was.
That's right.
I can do both, bro. I can do both.
Another question from Brother O. He said, respect our ladies is considered a fifth cardinal. How can we continue to respect our ladies and teach younger men to uplift our ladies and women in our lives?
I go. So yeah, I'll start off if that's cool. I would say that we all come from a woman, and regardless of whatever your relationship is with that woman who happens to be your mother, you should recognize that without her, that her as the place that you originated from to get here, you are not of existence. And as a man, you should recognize that and uplift that all the time. As a father of a daughter, I recognize the importance of my presence in her life, and what that means to her and what that will mean to her futuristically and whatever man she chooses to be with, but also my future grandchildren and great-grandchildren, how that sets them up. So understanding and recognizing the importance of my mother, of my sisters, of my wife, of my daughter is very important, and that women are not weak. They are as strong as possible in every situation, and you should understand that and uplift that. And they can be strong for you when you're down. So just understanding the strength of a woman and not just looking at her as the flesh, but the strength of a woman and recognizing that, because a woman had to go through some endurance, some pain to help you get your big-headed self here. Because that and uplift that, if not anything else, uplift that. And if you have children or want children, that there's going to be a woman that's going to bring them forward to this world and the pain and struggle that she's going to take to get that child here for you. So just recognize the power and strength of a woman, because it's very vital to the world that we live in.
I say, my brother.
I would say understand the sacredness of a woman. Understand that every prayer that you have, that you pray for, that answer comes through the womb of a woman. Whether you're asking for a wife, whether you're asking for a mentor, a friend, all those individuals come through the womb of a woman. So respect the sacredness of a woman and understand that a woman is our heaven on earth.
And I would add to that just a few short words that every Q lives by: protection of womanhood.
I'll take one more question if we have any more from the room. Do we have any more questions over there, Brother Gibbs?
I'm looking now. No question, but thank you, Brother Damon Warren, my JV football coach 29 years ago, mentor, former supervisor, principal, watched me grow up from high school kid to a man. I probably would have never known Omega if not had been for you, Rue, John Graham, John Sheen Moody. We all know that there is only one thing that is harder than friendship:
motherhood.
That's right. And I think, Brother Bert and Brother Mark, you both hit it on the head. And that was my point of reference in terms of treat women the same way you would treat your mother with respect, or your sister with respect. And it is our duty to protect our women. You know, that's the bottom line. You know, may not always agree or have the same opinion, but you can disagree to agree or agree to disagree. But just have that respect, and remember, your hands are your own hands, and your hands should not be put on any other person, especially women.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Protect your woman all day, every day. Protect your woman all day, every day. Anybody else to that? Because we're going to wrap up with some final thoughts from you brothers, your respective chapters. Anybody else on that one?
I was just going to simply say kudos to the brothers that I definitely echo their sentiments and everything that they said. You know, for me, it's just true, just leading by example. You know, having a rich man's family, as they call it, having the beauty of raising a son and a daughter. I don't take my role as a man and the leader of my household lightly. I understand what is called to me by God, and I must lead by example. I must show my son the example of what it means to treat a woman, and I must show my daughter how a man loves and adores a woman. So, you know, I don't take this fatherhood thing lightly, and I think that's the first thing. Even, you know, young men out there, if you don't have a father per se in your life, seek a positive role model, because from that you will begin to learn how to do things that you lack in your life. And, you know, protection of womanhood is very, 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 very dear. Very, very dear to me, because I don't have my mother anymore in this world. And I was always taught as a young man that you protect moms. And, you know, my purpose in life is to keep her legacy going and to make her proud. She is a Lincoln University grad, Zeta Omega. She's the Reds, you know, okay. So she's old school. And, you know, the woman that I'm privileged to call my wife, she has a lot of similarities of my mother, my first love, the woman that I fell in love with first and foremost, a strong Black woman. So, you know, I just wanted to say that, to put that out there, to say, you know, when you're seeking and you're looking, it's right in front of you. You know, you just have to be able to embrace it. Don't get caught up in the lies, brothers, that we see on TV and all that stuff. That's a facade. That isn't real. So, you know, protection of womanhood is very important. So I just wanted to say that.
Brother Ebony 87 BG, he's raising his hand. He wants to ask a question. And before we bring him on to ask a question, Brother O also has something else. He says, please help those observing this forum to understand the importance of community engagement, participation in elections, and civic participation.
Yeah, I think we did a lot of that this past week, man. You know,
That's right. That's right.
yeah. Shout out to the divine
All
knowledge.
the power of the vote.
Saying, show them that vote. Show them that shirt. Saying, show them that shirt.
There you go. There you go. Shout out to everybody that did their thing, regardless of what side you're on. But I was on the winning team, so I'm down with the winning team.
You want to allow Brother Ebony to unmute himself so he can ask a question?
I'm just saying for him. Just say it for him, brother. Just say it for him.
He didn't put it out. Just has his hand raised.
He's not on the panelist, so that's impossible to do. He's on.
All right. Well, let me just put out there. What is your question?
While we're waiting for the question, I'm going to say for at least the third time, Brother Blackwell really touched on exactly what I was going to say, which was the role of parenthood in demonstrating to both our sons and daughters how they should be. It is role modeling. And I'm going to leave it there because Brother Blackwell really put the nail to the head with that.
Yes, sir. But I have two daughters, and for me, it's important that they look up to me and respect me. And my job is to protect them, you know, and to mold them and to have a close relationship with my daughters, so they are able to come to me about anything. For me to be not only their father, but their counselor when needed, their confidant, and their role model. So that's important to me.
You got that, Brother Gibbs?
Yes, sir. Ebony just wanted to say, job well done.
Hey,
and to shout out to Brother Eb, it's good to hear you, my brother. We can't see you, but to hear from you.
Yes, good chapter, bro, right there. Good Omega man. BG.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Another 87, bro.
That's right.
The good old days.
I'll leave it at that. So listen, we're gonna bring it to somewhat of a close, right? And we're gonna go through each brother in your respective chapters. And we are now on the spotlight view. So each brother, you can talk about what it is got going in your chapter, any special programs, or what you got going on in the community, or you're going on yourself personally. And so each panelist, please go. We'll start with Brother Gibbs.
Well, one of the brothers in the chapter is going to be spearheading something called the Carter G. Woodson Academy. This is going to be about teaching the youth history and life skills. The brothers out in Pittsburgh are already doing it in Iota Phi, a pretty thorough program. We're looking to pretty much mimic that. And all the brothers are welcome to come on board, and we can all do it together. It doesn't have to be one, even though it starts with one.
Always slipping that ace in there.
Brother Lawson,
right.
Brother Lawson, you got anything?
Yeah, so I could piggybacking off of Brother Gibbs stated around veggie back. Appreciate that pro fight. In regards to boys mentoring program, but working with young men in the great city of Philadelphia is something that Pi Mu is focusing on, but also focus on collaborating across all the chapters in the area and surrounding areas to do so. But the other thing I wanted to elevate is around economic and political empowerment for us. And when I mean us is first and foremost Black people, also other people of color, but economic empowerment, political empowerment. We need that. We must do that. And that's something on the platform for Pi Mu that we're working on to bring forth to Philadelphia where we are.
And I'm looking forward to joining that work too, Brother Lawson. So no doubt, we'll be talking really, really soon.
Appreciate it.
Brother Edwards.
Yeah, so Mu Omega chapter is right on point with the mentoring piece that you just heard about. That's a focus for us as well. One of the upcoming events we have is something that we do every year, and interestingly enough, it's sort of connected to what I'm doing now professionally. So in December, we have the James A. Minton food drive every year, where we give away food and toys to the community that we're in. We're in the Germantown section of the city of Philadelphia, although our reach is citywide. Visit us on our website at www.newomegaqs.com and go to the events section, and you'll see all of the activities that we have coming up.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Brother Edwards. Brother Blackwell.
Epsilon Pi chapter, we have our Virtual Achievement Week program, which will be next Sunday. We'll be getting that information out on Facebook. Epsilon Pi chapter, coming up December 20th, we'll be doing a turkey drive within the community of Chester. We're just going to do a drive-by turkey drive, and looking at the times that we are in COVID. So we want to be safe as possible. We're also doing our Toys for Tots that day, adopting a family in need, which we do every year. And also our vice bossless, Brother Darren Daniels, he's doing some great work with the Machi mentoring program. He's doing this thing within Chester, working with City Hall to get mentors for those youth. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you, Brother Blackwell. And Dr. Dorsey, Brother Dr. Dorsey.
Okay, so at Zeta Iota, we too are doing a turkey drive, hopefully to benefit some families in the few days right before Thanksgiving. Our focus in this uncertain time of COVID is actually going to be in reclamation and trying to identify brothers who currently don't have a chapter home. They would always be welcome to join us at Zeta Iota. And the leadership of that effort is Brother Steffens, who's also helping lead our mentorship program. And again, I'd like to point out the recurring theme that even though we're members of different chapters, you can see we're focused on the same thing, primarily reaching back to our younger young men to show them the way. And we need to collaborate on that. And so through that, that's all we're going to be doing. And we're at www.ziiqs.com. Please come and check us out. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
And brother Warren, you did a great job this evening, and I just want to express my thanks to the fellow panelists and all the registrants.
Thank you, brother.
Brother, do you have anything you'd like to add? Anything from the community? Anything from your respective chapter? Anything you have to add, brother?
As Brother Dorsey had stated, well, I'm presently chairing the Reclamation and Retention Committee, bringing brothers back home, whether it be with ZII, but I think all of our missions is to identify these brothers who's out in the city, whether it be in Philadelphia or Chester, and bring them back home, to a chapter to become active and assets in Omega. I'm chairing also the Bridge Builders Mentoring Committee for ZII. And what we've done this year is identify 6th to 8th grade students that we'll be working with. And our program will be kicking off in January. And when I heard that music to my ears, I always like to hear the word collaboration, because as immediate past Carter rep, that was my thing, communication and collaboration. So for us to communicate and collaborate and join forces, it's only gonna make Omega stronger within our areas.
Absolutely. And we all surround the Philadelphia region, so we definitely need that collaboration. I'm looking forward to network with everyone that's here on this call, in the chat, throughout the world, throughout the country, to collaborate, to make our place, make our place of people, for our young people better. Okay, what have we won so far with the election? Okay, we won some things with this election, but now let's take and do something. Let's mobilize, right, as people and do something, as abolitionist thinkers, freeing ourselves from all the tyranny and all the things that have been plaguing us for many, many years. So the struggle continues and it shall go on. So I'm going to share my screen right now. If brothers can just mute themselves for a second, we're going to close out with a quick announcement that I have, and then also finish off with Omega Party. So my organization, PEACE, which stands for Please Educate All Children Equally. During the spring, I'll be starting virtual workshops. And one particular session I have going on right now is called Intentional Teaching, which is the intersectionality of race, equity, and the standards. Shout out to the CEO of String Theory Charter School for bringing me on for that. I'm looking forward to that work starting in the spring of 21. Check out my YouTube channel. If you've missed any of our past shows, as well as this one, all those videos will be housed there. Also, I do a lot of virtual emotional coaching. Started before COVID, and I'll be starting up again in the spring, enhancing my virtual platform. And the one session that I've done several places between Delaware, Pennsylvania, and Ohio is called Who We Be. If you're interested in that, check me out. Also, got a book coming very, very soon. Those out there in the poetry world that remember me from then, the book is working. And, it's my poetic memoir, and that will be released in 2021. Shout out to Melissa Lawson. She'll be helping to publish my book. That will be the wife of Brother Bertram Lawson. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at Brother Warren at pleaseeducateallchildrenequally.com. That is my email. So I would be remiss if I did not, recognize the fact that we have Founders Day coming up next week. Founders Day on November 17th, which is Tuesday. 35 years in the fold, Omega Psi Phi for me. And I have to give a shout out to my line brother, Andre Jervis, 6BG 1985, who passed away in the 90s, 1997. So we'll close out with Omega Party, recognizing all the brothers that have gone on to Omega Chapter. But I'm giving a special shout out to my line brother, Brother Andre Jervis. To everyone out there, Facebook brothers, any final thoughts, any final words? This is it.
Just if you was wondering, brothers, who was that in the circle? That was me.
Just setting it out for
my baby brother Andre. Yes, sir.
Yes. Brother Andre loved you, and I know you loved him. Brother Demas was definitely there setting it out.
Yes, sir. All love, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Only one thing to say, thank you, Brother Warren, for this platform opportunity to talk tonight. Appreciate you. Good platform, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. So
appreciate you, Brother Warren. Appreciate
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Gibbs.
Appreciate you, Brother Warren. Appreciate the panelists, as well as the attendees. I want to end it with a quote from Harriet Tubman. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. Also, from Johnny Gibbs, understand that life can be unfair, and at times everyone doesn't follow the same rules. So you have to persevere through life. And I'm Johnny Gibbs, and I approve of this message.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to my brother Justin Warren for putting this together, and thank you to all of the other panelists. And Brother Demas, give me a call.
No, you give me a call, brother.
Yeah, Brother Warren, thank you, my
Yeah,
brother.
this protocol was something else, always gone last.
Hey, look, at least be glad
Love
you're
it.
not
I love
eating. At least you're not eating last.
Right. I'm glad y'all sent me on a run.
Brother Warren, this has been great. I think we need more of this, just open dialogue. And just stay positive, brothers, and let's stay safe.
Stay safe, brothers. Stay safe.
All right.
Now I was saying thank you for putting this together. Appreciate all the panelists, everybody that tuned in. Stay safe out there. Stay safe. You know what I mean? Stay humble, stay productive. Love yourselves, love your communities, love your families. Most of all, love yourself.
And I see Brother Marcus was on the call. So Brother Marcus Harris, shout out to you, and Brother Oscar for your questions.
Shout out to all the brothers out there. Shout out to all the young ladies out there. Shout out to all the kids out there. Shout out to everybody out there watching, because share this with the youth. Again, this is Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Also, this is peace. Please educate all children equally. And I put this together. I do this once a month on various topics to educate our young people, because education is liberation, right? We got to free our young people from their circumstances. So be sure to share this video. I know it's a Friday night. Some are probably watching Versus or whatever it is. I'll probably log off and go watch the Versus too, whatever's going on Instagram. But tonight, we made this show. It'll live forever. Please share it with the youth. All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming out. God bless y'all. Good night.
Peace and blessings, brothers.
Peace.
Good night.
Good night.
Peace.